If you're in your first microeconomics class, I'm a tutor, and this is the main difference between supply and quantity supplied that you need to know for your first midterm. I see a lot of students think that quantity supplied equals supply, but that's not the case. Supply is the entire curve here. It's the entire relationship between price and quantity, or the entire relationship between how many units producers are willing to supply to the market at a given price. Versus quantity supplied, that's just a given point on the supply curve. Like in this case, when the price is, let's say, $10, the quantity supplied at that price is, we'll say, 5. This is quantity supplied. This is supply. And the only thing that can change quantity supplied is a change in price, because we're just moving to a new point along the supply curve. Like for example, let's say price goes up to $15 here. Well, now that would rest at this point here, resulting in an increased quantity supplied, we'll say, to 10 units. Just remember, price is the only thing that can change quantity supplied. Whereas the supply shifters will shift the position of the entire supply curve. I've got all the shifters in my microeconomics cram kit on my website, but just to make sure this is clicking here, let's take one of the shifters and assume it's going to increase supply. For example, let's say the number of sellers in the market increases. Well, that's going to shift the supply curve to the right. We're going from this S1 supply curve to the S2. And I want to point out something super critical here. Increases in supply, I want you to connotate with a rightward shift. Don't think of it as up, because actually an upward shift would pull the supply curve to the left or decrease it. Think of increases in supply as shifting to the right and decreases to the left. Don't associate it with up or down, you'll mess it up. And I do just want to point out something real quick. Like, yes, if this supply shift did happen, and let's say price stayed the same, it would, yes, increase quantity supplied. But that's as a result of the entire relationship of supply changing. You'll get problems where it's like, how does this change in price impact supply? And that's what I'm talking about, where it's like, it doesn't. It only impacts quantity supplied. Whereas if a problem says, how does the number of sellers in this market impact supply? Well, that's not just going to impact quantity supplied. That will shift the entire curve. All right, and just for full clarity here, let's see a leftward or decrease shift in supply happen. Let's say the expected price of the good that suppliers are selling is expected to increase in the future. Well, that's going to decrease supply to S2 in the short term, because producers are essentially just going to wait out the market to improve and them to be able to sell their good for more later. So supply will decrease to the left as a result. All right, listen, if you like the way I explain microeconomics and just wish that I could explain your entire class to you, go check out my website where I've got my microeconomics cram kit. I can explain to you this entire class in about 2.5 hours. I've got 95 free concept breakdowns that just walk you through all the core concepts that you need to know. And then to support that, if you'd like, I've got a bank of over 150 must-know practice problems, each with a guided solution.